GoLoud.
Welcome back to the Weekly Roast. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? Guys, what's going on? How are you doing? Thank you so much for listening to the Weekly Roast this week and for all of the 20 episodes beforehand. Guys, I'm doing good. I just want to thank you all for joining us, obviously, but I also wanted to say thank you to everybody who sent me a lovely message about my appearance on the Talking Bollocks podcast last week. If you're not familiar with the work of Calvin and Terence, you should absolutely check out their show. They are incredible gentlemen. It was the last bit of media I had to do for the book, and it's funny, I've been thinking about it recently. I must say I'm very happy that the promotion and or talking about the book is over, because I feel like, I don't know, it becomes very, and I don't want to say like emotionally taxing, you know, revisiting the annals of my past. That's not it at all. It's actually more just, it becomes boring sort of wheeling out the same story over and over again, and you start to think that you're a bit of an imposter, or you're trying to sort of capitalise on your own shortcomings in the past. So I just want to say thank you all for the enormous support throughout the run of the media, appearances and interviews and stuff with the book. But I am now delighted to move on and firmly position myself in the willy bum bum section of life. Go back to doing what I do best, which is to wear a facade of cynicism and mirth when approaching the world. Guys, welcome back to the Humble Brags roast and the roast of notions, okay? Joking aside though, thank you so much for the support. Also, the book is available still. That's the last I'll say about it. The book is available. The link is in the bio. The audiobook's coming out soon. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support and kindness. I will appreciate it forever. But now let's get back to having a fucking laugh, okay? It's the roast of humble brags. Guys, if you're unfamiliar with what humble bragging is, okay, Google can be your friend in this instance. Humble bragging on Instagram is the act of disguising a boast as a complaint or self-deprecating remark to gain attention or praise while appearing modest. There's so many examples throughout this podcast, but one of them which we should just talk about quickly, which I don't really think is a humble brag, but it does annoy people a lot, is it's when people refer to themselves as doing a place, you know? I don't think that that's a brag, but it is infuriating. Have you guys done Copenhagen? You know, have you guys done Geneva or whatever? Have you ever noticed that when people say that they've done a place, you haven't colonised Puerto Romano, Grania, you know? You've gone to Spain for a few days. You'll do the same thing that you always do. You'll go to the local Italian restaurant to get a true taste of Malaga, where it's aptly called Leonardo's, Michelangelo's, or one of the other turtles. You'll probably order the prawn pill, and then once again you'll exercise what is your God-given right to be nauseatingly basic by telling every person within arm's reach that you'd be totally happy to survive off garlic bread for the rest of your life. And then you'll burst out laughing, and if you listen carefully, you'll hear Christopher Columbus turning in his grave, okay? You haven't done Spain. You've contaminated it. You've temporarily diluted the cobbled streets of Malaga from their Spanish purity by stomping through the city in your sambas with a smirk on your face and getting angry with your basic boyfriend in his cost shirt for not taking photos of you at the right angle, okay? Yeah, we did Poland on the weekend there. Sorry? Yeah, we did Poland. Actually, couldn't believe it. Like, it was actually really nice. It was quite similar to other places we've been to in Europe. Sorry. Why are you surprised? What were you expecting from Poland? Cholera and street thugs. Do you know what I mean? You weren't going to the coast of Somalia looking for advice on where to park your yacht, on ya. You went to Krakow for a Christmas market. You paid €17 for an oversized pork sausage before going back to the Airbnb and underperforming with your average pork size sausage. I'm fucking up the genders there with that gag. Sorry, Kieran. But anyway, people saying they've done places. You haven't done them, okay? And or whenever people come home from a holiday and they're like, oh, that's another one ticked off the list. Life isn't just one perennial fucking list, okay? Ticking European cities off. Like they're girls you wanted to kiss in Irish college. Tanya from Tipperary South. Let's go. That person probably does exist, by the way, so I need to be careful. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the Roast of Humble Brags. I'm here, and beside me, as ever, is my friend, my confidant, my therapist, my God. Well, that's a complete exaggeration. It's my producer, Kieran, who's getting married very soon. The wedding roast has to come up very soon, guys, and the stag roast and the hen roast. Welcome back. It's good to have you with us.
Friends of ours with notions have Joe Malone hand wash and hand cream on the sink in their bathroom with cheap shit in them. The real stuff was used up long ago.
Yeah, Kieran, you say you do something similar with the hand lotion beside your bed. And the Kleenex. Almost a married man and still furiously going at himself. So this is something that I think is probably more common than we'd like to believe. I remember when I used to work in the nightclub industry back in the day, they used to fill the vodka with they'd empty all the Smirnoff and the whatever the nicer vodka out and just put Glens or whatever the cheapest stuff in it. It's a trick as old as time. So whenever you see those videos of like Dubai nightclubs or Marbella and stuff, and you see the sort of, the tanned, bleached teeth, sort of tribal tattoo, aficionados of all things shit, ordering their vodka to the table, that's probably just like, pool water with a dash of ethanol. So I would say that that's more common. It is notionsy. You have to take pity on the sort of Hyacinth Bouquet-esque characters that feel they're so consumed with the need to impress that they would find themselves siphoning in bags of... Although, sorry, actually, before I continue that sentence, we've started becoming very efficient domestically and we're refilling the shower gel.
Oh.
Greta Thunberg, eat your heart out. Like that is... I get a little burst of self-importance every time I remember we haven't bought new shower gel in like 6 months. We just got a big plastic sack of gel. Anyway, on we go.
And they say they're back in their happy place, but it's just Julie's bar on the Algarve. Nice one, Ursula. We all know you're hammering the price low to high button on booking.com.
That was a real zinger at the end. Did you hear what he said? We all know that you're hammering the price low to high button on booking.com. That's sort of what you do though, isn't it? Do you ever get when you're on a website doing some shopping and you like put in t-shirts and then all the stuff comes up and then it's like filter by and they have filter by price low to high is the last option. Don't make me work for it. Don't humiliate me here. Don't drag me through this indignitous swamp that is the website. We all know I want to filter it from price. It's like whenever you used to buy a bottle of wine. You never go for the cheapest one on the table. So I will filter the t-shirts by the cheapest to the most expensive. And then I'll find myself, okay, I'm not going to get the €10 one. I'm not going to get the €15 one. I'll feel comfortable around the €25 mark. If you're on a date, for instance, and you're buying t-shirts. Anyway, these fucking Egypts with their happy places. It's interesting that their happy place also happens to be an expensive place. Do you know? It's never you've got expensive taste, Maria. We get it. And I can only deduce from this Instagram story that you are expensive. Is that what you want from this? Do you want us to associate you with the fancy and nice place so then we think you are fancy and nice and we'll forget the fact that you threw a shoe full of piss in my kitchen window after the Debs? Is that it, Aoife? Not to be specific, but also liking 5-star hotels is not a personality trait. Oh wow! If that's what you think is your personality, you need to perform a Heimlich maneuver on this little life you think you like, or whatever that fucking song is. Do you know what I mean? It's not unique. It's about as unique as a guy commenting the winky emoji under a picture of Emily Ratajkowski on Instagram not wearing a bra. Did you know what I mean? Did you think the 19,478 other blokes who commented the same thing in the last hour are different, you know? And actually, do you know what? It's always whenever they have the happy place and then they've got that like heart emoji, but it's the heart emoji with the hands, not the heart. Do you know that one? Where like the hands are shaped like a heart. It's always something cringy. When the heart made out of the mitts comes out, you know it's going to be something cringe. It's always like, heart is full after being at a music festival. Yeah, your heart is full of ketamine and kebab juice. Do you know what I mean? You didn't do the Camino. You went down to a fucking field for, anyway, lest I fall off the high horse and crack the crown, I best move on. But yeah, the happy place thing, it's all signalling. You're signalling the fact that you're rich, you're wealthy, you're cool, you have a lovely life. We get it. It's sort of like the alternative people walking around Dublin with tote bags from various museums in different European cities that they visited, you know? Oh, brilliant. You went to the Tate, did you? And you got yourself a little bag. Oh, and it goes really well with your Doc Martens and your beret and your wide leg trousers and your insistence that you're very different to the rest of us. On we go.
More like when you're there talking to a friend about how you're like, oh, do you know, I've been to the gym today, I'm really counting the calories, I've been walking all week, or, you know, I'm really trying to like look after it. And they're like, do you know what? You're like, I just find it so hard to put on weight. Just, you know, I just don't get that.
Yeah, like I completely get this. These people, they drive me up the wall. Do you know another type actually? And this is almost like the reverse humble brag. I don't know if any of you have friends like this. Do you ever get somebody? Do you have somebody in your life who they'll always speak to me like this? They go, and how are you getting on? And I'll go, yeah, great, yeah. All going well. They go, oh yeah, well done. And you're like, why are you acting like I'm unable to function at life? They're like, and you're still trucking along with the comedy. Why are you saying trucking along? Firstly, I don't even have my full license. And secondly, they're like, you still at the old comedy? And you're like, yeah, I am, yeah. Probably very tough, is it? And you're like, no, I'm enjoying it. Like, things are going great. I'm actually really, oh Jesus, you've got a thick skin. You know, they're acting like they're being nice, but they're sort of just making you feel bad. Do you know those people? They're sort of like, Jesus, and yeah, I'd say it's hard to, you know, out there. No, like things are going great. You know, I've been very lucky the last while. Yeah. And are you up to much or no? You're not. Oh yeah. Actually, I released a book there. Oh, did you? Oh, Jesus, fair play to you. Will you release it now or no? You probably won't. Yeah, no, I did. I released it. Yeah. Oh, you did. Okay. All right. It probably didn't sell, did it? Well, it actually became a bestseller. So. Oh yeah. Well, books can't really make money from a book. You know what I mean? Every you're like trying to. I don't know. They're acting like they care about you, but they constantly make you rethink every decision in your life. Like there's one person I know, and they'll text me like, "How are you getting on? Are you doing all right today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And don't get me wrong, guys. I completely understand that people are being nice, and we all have to reach out, and we absolutely have to emotionally communicate. And if you bought my book, you'd realise that a lack of emotional assertion is an enormous part of my character flaws. Okay, we get that. But I'm talking about just like they are almost projecting like being Harry, you're not struggling with the old thing. Okay, I'm not describing this well, but maybe if somebody has a friend like that, let me know. They act like they're acting like they care, but they're effectively surreptitiously reminding you about things that you should feel shit about. Does that make sense? Let's move on. Let's get back to a bit of bloody comedy, okay?
Hi, Mark. So the subtle boast that always stands out to me is, you know, when someone is arriving at a hotel or a venue and they make a video driving in through the entrance, so you get to see the like welcome to Centre Park sign or Druids Glen or something like that, and the caption is something like back to our favourite place or our favourite spot, just to let us all know that this isn't their first time that they're arriving there.
Yeah, this is actually potential winner. That is such a humble brag. Our favourite place. As if they've got shares in the Europa Hotel or the Algarve. Do you know what I mean? You don't own Portugal. You're about as familiar to the people of Portugal as replying to an email in a timely manner. Is that? punctual racism. It's not. You're not, but once again, you're not unique for liking things that everybody likes. And okay, we get it. You've been to this 5-star hotel before, Shifra. What a wonderful little life you have. We should all bow down in reverence at your towering wealth. Okay, let's continue. That's a great one. It's the weekly roast of humble brags and braggers and bragettes. It's great to have you here, guys. Some of these are brilliant. It's the subtle ones that we love the most. Also, if you're enjoying listening to the podcast, please share it with a friend. Don't forget, send me all of your suggestions and messages on Instagram at Mehigan and let me know where you're listening to it. I love it. Also, if you have a picture, we might be introducing some sort of competition soon. Send me a picture of where you listen to the roast and I'll share a few, and the best one might win a very good prize, such as like a signed copy of the book. Oh, I thought you said you were finished talking about the book. Nevertheless.
My big hate on Instagram is when folk that you know are getting engaged and they're on their Insta story and they're flashing like a nice pricey ring and being all like, oh, but this is just the promise ring. Of course, it's just a promise ring. It's like, fuck off, Aisling. Like, you're an assistant manager at Mace. Who do you think you are? And I know who your man is. He's got a part-time job. He does weekends at O'Brien's Wine. Okay. And he owes me 50 quid still from when we were organising Danny's stag. So I don't really care about if people know my voice or not. If you're listening to this, get that 50 quid back in my Revolut before you even think about taking your big proper trip to Brown Thomas. Okay? Promise ring. Fuck off.
Brilliant. Okay, firstly, nothing wrong with O'Brien's wine. Nothing wrong with any wine. Secondly, yeah, the engagement ring flashers, more flashers than a pervert's internet search history. I am with you on this one. I'm also with you in terms of, have you ever noticed when you get invited to a stag or a hen and it's like, okay, hey guys, the group chat goes out and it's like, if everyone could just Revolut me 75 quid or 200 quid or 50 quid, cool, is there any chance I could get a breakdown of where that money's going? It's a bit vague. Like you're parting with this cash and then it's like, what have you arranged? Oh, well, I've got us the Airbnb. Then there's going to be another activity, called pints and fucking whatever. That you'll have to pay for. The breakfast you'll have to pay for. I thought we were staying in. I thought all of this is contributing to the B&B. Yeah, no, that's just to sleep. Cool. Well, then it's just a B. There's no B&B then. Do you know? Be more specific, please. I'd like a price plan whenever I'm invited to a stag. I actually don't have any issue with promise rings. I think it's quite lovely, and apparently, like, people like to be involved in the process of choosing their ring. I was fortunate enough that the ring that I bought there was the one that she actually she decided to keep. So basically I bought that, then we went in to whatchamacallit, Applebee's that day to like look at a few options and she chose the one that I gave her. So I'm delighted with that. But the promise ring, so I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is mini moons. But whenever somebody has a mini moon that's actually still like a luxurious 5-star holiday, you know, that those people are like, oh yeah, look, we're just after the wedding, we're just having a little mini moon. It's nothing to be sniffed at. It's just a little dirty piece of piss sort of holiday. You wouldn't want any interest in this. I know. Where are you going? Well, we're going to Adair Manor for 3 weeks, and then we're going to fly from there to the Seychelles, where the king will greet it. You know when people say that they booked somewhere, but they like to hammer home the fact that it was last minute. Because that the flights would be expensive. Oh yeah, we just decided on Thursday, we just said, you know what, well, we nip over to France for a quiet weekend. There's nothing quiet or loud about this. In fact, there's this screeching sound of boasting emanating from your throat, Sarah. That's got some volume to it, okay? But this whole lastminute.com, oh, you just flew over, you just popped over. I know what you're doing, okay? There's a boast here. Just get it out. Get it out of your system, okay? Continue.
When people comment, I'm so glad the news is out under an announcement post, just to make sure that everybody knew that they knew first.
Okay, I think we have the winner. This is the number one, the cardinal sin, the humble brag. It is the alluding to the fact that you are more close with the person who did the post than all of us other simpletons, other lay people, other civilians, other idiots in the comment section wishing the person well. Have you ever noticed, Kieran? They don't seem to rear their heads under the funeral announcements. You know? But they don't. You don't see them. You don't see the so glad the news is finally out brigade under the picture of the hand, you know? with Nana's withered mitt. You don't see the... You don't see that this is outrageous. You don't see the still crying. So glad we're telling people now. Still crying under the sort of, you know, oh, she was a mad bitch and a buzzer. No, she wasn't. She was 83 and a keen racist. But no, like you just... They're only there in the good days, these so glad the news is finally out people. Or they always... It's the subtle ones. Sending you both all my love again. Or, oh my God, here's one for you. You know when they say something like... Can't wait for the real celebration. Oh, so you've already had a little private mini celebration together, have you? Just you and the happy couple, like a little triangle of sadness. One of the greatest films released in 2023, by the way. Check it out if you have not seen it. Don't Google the story about the lead actress in real life, though. It will break your heart. But yes, these people, they're so glad the news is out. It's funny, it amazes me how they continue to do it, even though it's already meme worthy. Like we already, as a species, humans are aware that this is a thing that happens, and they still continue to do it. So yeah, but you don't see it under the farewell Nana or ciao granny posts, do you? On we go.
But anyone who uses the engagement ring emoji in their Instagram posts should immediately be suspended from the platform. If they use it in their Instagram bio, even worse. Go a step further and have them suspended from their place of work. On the theme of engagements and weddings, we're probably all familiar with the caption of, "Can we do it all over again?" Typically posted by overly obedient bridesmaids, but it really poses the question, can we do what all over again? The four Saturdays you sacrificed to go wedding dress shopping with the bride, or the 1,500 in debt you racked up because the happy couple wanted to get married, quote unquote, someplace nice. I love a wedding as much as the next person, but sometimes it's okay just to rock up, enjoy the party, throw yourself in and move on just as quickly. It doesn't always have to be kind of gushing tributes, personalised bathrobes and squirm-inducing photographs of groomsmen putting on their cufflinks.
I just love whenever you see the picture of like the hen party and there's like 16 people, the picture in bed, and they're all wearing these like personalised silk pajamas. How the fuck, like... Sorry, I know that you're really close with Siobhan, who you work with, and like Breed and Fuincha, who you play hockey with. I don't want to jump into bed in fucking silk pajamas and squelch in beside them for the selfie, you know? Can we do it all over again, please? Well, you can. You're going to 4 more weddings this summer, which you keep telling people about, by the way. It's so suffocatingly banal when you meet people in your 30s and they're like, and how many do you have on this year? And you're like, how many what? Just weddings. Yeah, well, we're actually okay. Because you see him, and she refers to the husband just like as him, even though he's standing there. Yeah, and he's just like, well, most of his guys got down early, so I actually dodged a bullet there. But we've got a couple now. 2 of them are foreign. The weddings, by the way, thank God. Sorry? You know, so yeah, these. I'm sorry. Guys, it's the weekly roast of Humble Brags. All of this began with somebody complaining to me on Instagram about people who do, you know, they'll take a video on Instagram of them like coming into work in the mornings, but it'll be of a coffee cup or something. However, it'll be done over the steering wheel, so they're letting you know what car they're driving. Or I believe with women, it's very commonly done where they show you their nails, but it's done in front of the car brand, and or they're obviously showing you off their jewellery as well. So that's where this all stemmed from, the roast of Humble Brags. As I said before, if you have a suggestion on what you'd like roasted, DM me on Instagram at Mehigan Mark. There are lots of exciting things happening behind the scenes, and we've got some exciting plans for the summer. So on we go. Let's enjoy this one. It's the roast of Humble Brags.
Okay, the worst subtle boasters are, it tends to be mostly males, sorry to say, but the guys who post themselves in every airport in Europe, say the schedule of when they are leaving each airport, another day, another airport. We get it, John Joe. You are very, very important, and you go to lots of airports. Nobody actually knows what you do in said airports or why you need to come and go through so many airports. But we do understand that you are very, very important. So yeah, that is a serious subtle boast.
Okay, can I just say one thing? when you hear the name John Joe, you don't automatically think business trip, do you? I won't tell you what I do think. Nevertheless. Yeah, this whole, like, do you know the worst caption is when, and it is guys, by the way, let's have a laugh at guys for bloody once, will we? It is guys though. It's whenever they say things like, another day, another city. You've been on 2 business trips in the last 12 months, Kieran. Oh my God, I'm trying to choose a random man's name. Cian. You've been on 2 business trips in the last 12 months, Cian. One of them was to a conference in Swindon. And now you're in an Italian restaurant in an industrial estate on the outskirts of Milan. It's not exactly globe-trotting, okay? It's not exactly a scene from the award-winning, but not nearly talked about enough movie with George Clooney and Vera Farmiga based on business travel called Up in the Air. Fabulous film, by the way. But you know what I mean? These guys, they act like they're big money guys, and there's a quote. There'll always be like a quote about business or just like, the yawn emoji, another airport. Mate, you're in Bristol for a night on Tuesday. You've gone out for dinner by yourself and you've set your Tinder radius to 100 kilometres, you know, before going back to your windowless hotel room, ordering a Caesar salad, which is more of an insult to Caesar than the Ides of March, let's go, history gag, before turning off the lights and pulling yourself off with the same velocity, okay, as 14-year-old me awaiting the second boob to download on my Nokia 3310 before a marathon game of Space Impact. Oh no, do you know what the worst is? These guys, I don't even know what country I'm in at this stage. Yes you do. It says it on your boarding pass. It says it when you land. The pilot literally came on air and gave a brief synopsis of the weather forecast and wished you well on your onward journey and hopes to see you again soon. What even country am I in again? Italy, Declan. Unless you've been kidnapped, a la the girl from Taken, and sent across the world blindfolded and sedated, I think we should take it that you can remember what current country you currently occupy. You gobshite. Where am I? You're in the grey area of shameless self-promotion masqueraded as something different. Feelings I struggled with enormously when promoting the book. Let's go.
Hi Mark, one thing that really grinds my gears is performative charity work and good deeds. And I'm not talking about people who do skydives for charity and things like that. I mean people who constantly bring up how much money they give to different charities and like just want to talk about it to make themselves look good. It's almost self-serving. And what's even worse is when people talk about it on social media and maybe bring up a story about, oh, I was talking to a homeless man the other day and I ended up giving him some money and we got talking. I'm like, why did you have to bring that up? Why did you have to mention the money aspect to it? You just want to make yourself sound like a better person. Or worse, when they take pictures of homeless people, it's just so dehumanizing. Like I remember I saw a guy once did a knuckle punch with a homeless guy in the streets in Dublin. And after putting about a 50-cent coin in his cup, and the caption was like, stay safe out there, brother. Oh my God, I was so mortified. I was like, that's a poor man who's probably been through worse in his whole life than you ever have.
Yeah, guys, this is something that is really close to my heart, this particular one, because it's grinded my gears for a very long time. I mean, first and foremost, the relationship between social media and virtue is more blurry than the first pair of breasts I ever downloaded from Phonoerotica for €2.50 a pixel. Genuinely, I remember one time I lost €20 phone credit on a literal nipple, you know. But anyway, this whole virtue signaling in the realest form on social media by way of like taking pictures of vulnerable people in vulnerable positions, but then masquerading it as like raising awareness is fucking sinful. And I've seen too much of it. You know, you see somebody posting a picture and they're like, "This is Declan. Declan is 38," and they just post this person's life story and they've taken a picture of them. All they're doing is trying to, and then they always have a message going, maybe you should stop and ask a little bit more. Maybe you should, realize that just because you're, by the way, 28 years of age and you've discovered that, via this homeless person, that other people are also people, and you've now had this like profound understanding of the human condition, you now are pointing the finger at other people saying that everyone else should do more just because you're so fucking holy. It drives me. It's just so infuriating. And by the way, you could overlook the back patting and, the indulgence of it all if it was actually helpful to people long term. But it never is. It's just a completely bullshit oversimplification of deeply complex issues. But their pea brains are just too greedy, and they just need to get them set, like, get the picture up, get the likes, get that attention. Yes, look at me, I'm good, I'm good. These people are the worst. And there was a I don't want to get too angry because this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, not like Mark Mehigan getting up in his pulpit thinking he's better than other people or whatever. But do you remember there was a period for a while when like influencers got really into it? I always find it amazing when influencers would get really into stuff, but they'd be posting about like obscure charities in countries that they've never been to rather than like doing anything at home. Do you know what I mean? You can just imagine them on the phone to their agent. Yeah, like I just really want to throw myself into something, like charity-wise, just because it sort of gets like a lot of heat on the gram, like, just raise so much money, like obviously raise some money in advance, which would pay for my flights and accommodation as well, and pocket money. And maybe a little bit extra. I suppose I'm just really ready to make a difference and change a few lives, for around 2 weeks at the end of August. And then maybe ideally the second week I could go somewhere more chill and just lie by the pool. Yeah, like in terms of charity work, I suppose I want somewhere that's warm and like the kids are cute. But maybe there was like a flood a few years ago and they need help pulling stones into the river. So, nothing like... Is Atlantis... Atlantis isn't a real place, is it? No, I know. No, I was only joking. Dublin? What do you mean? The homeless? Oh, no, like the scary lads here? No, yuck, with the rabbits. No, I was thinking somewhere sunnier. No, there aren't any people like suffering somewhere like Dubai, are there? Geez, that'd be the day, yeah. That's the end of the moral comedy. I do think those selfie sticks were invented just to give influencers a modern version of a cattle prod when visiting third world countries, Give them a bit of breathing space between them and the great unwashed. Let's go.
Hey Mark, people who tag themselves in hospitals, waiting for the onslaught of, "Are you okay, hon?" So fucking annoying. Like, why? I also find people who tag themselves having airport pints annoying. Like, who cares if you're going on holidays?
Dortmund, let's be having you. Yeah, I completely agree about the airport pints. I think I did a video on that. One of my early videos on Facebook, the viral ones, let's go, was about people posting cheeky pints, The hospital thing. Okay, bear with me, guys. Now, look, I know I'm a hypocrite. It's one thing I've always said about myself is that I'm a complete and utter hypocrite. But I did post from a hospital last year when I was getting my second colonoscopy. I had to get 2 colonoscopies, 2 endoscopies. As previously discussed, I was effectively spit roasted by the staff of St Michael's Hospital in Dunleary. However, I did post from the hospital bed when I was lying there, because when I was in the middle of my second colonoscopy, the sedation wore off, which was, to say, traumatic. Nevertheless, I was lying in the bed afterwards and I got the tea and toast, and I'd never been in hospital before. It is a very childlike feeling, lying in hospital with that tea and toast. It is delicious, and you are overwhelmed with the profound respect for nurses and unfathomable long... I just wanted to hug them and be like, thank you for minding me. You do feel like a large baby, probably because you're wearing the crepe paper boxers and, the dignity's been left at the door. So I do think that when you're in a hospital, you are in a vulnerable position. And if you have had and underwent any form of surgery, it does reduce you to a sort of toddler age emotionally. And maybe it's justified because you just want a bit of reassurance and a sort of hug from the wider world. However, if you're bringing in your nephew because he sprained his elbow and you post something ambiguous from the waiting room and it's like, oh, and then you're alluding to something more serious, then, then it's like, okay, that's not fair. Like, if you're posting up a thing going, yeah, I was down in the hospital with Nana earlier. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I was sorry. Why do people record themselves if they're about to cry? Stop. Stop the fuck. If you're about to cry, put the phone... Hey, guys. No, I'm fine. I just thought I'd jump on for a second. I was just in with Nana. No, she's going to pull through. Your Nana had 2 bunions removed. This is deceit. This is deception. This is art attack. Let's go.
For me, it's always when they put the course that they're doing in college in their Instagram bio, and it's always like Irish and geography, NUI Maynooth. Like, fair play to you, Fuincha, you're a Gaelgore, but I don't think this is what the lads on Instagram intended when they added the bio feature. Like, not everybody needs to know this information.
Guramila for this one, but if I was to put the college course in my Instagram bio, my bio would be blank. So thanks for the reminder. Somebody earlier on in the podcast mentioned something about Instagram bios, and I will say this, okay? As sure as night comes after day, if I ever receive a random message of abuse on Instagram, okay, which does happen every now and then from a deranged loon who knows me better than I know myself, apparently, but if I go onto their profile, 99 times out of 100, the person will have, okay, they'll have they'll have a man emoji and then their husband tagged. They'll have the two children emojis and they'll have the names of, like, you know, Damien and Rihanna or whatever. And then they'll have like be kind. They almost always have be kind in the bio. The ones that send me abuse, you go onto their page and they'll have them sharing stuff for like Mental Health Awareness Week. And then they'll just, hey Mark, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but blah, 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 blah. And just come out with a litany of abuse. People are deranged. It's always the ones that profess to do the most or to care the most that are actually the biggest fucking loons. So yeah, God love them. We could do a roast of Instagram bios. Oh, that could be a good one. Let me know what you think. On we go.
Mark, how about the people who make a full-blown Insta reel when going for a quick dip in the sea? Entry and exit shots, possibly a little snippet of the drive to the coast. Guaranteed possibly tense music playing over it. And then some recycled motivational quote. And don't forget, hashtag vitamin C, SEA. Lads, just get into the cold water. Absolute saps. My God.
Look, he has a point. And again, I must say I'm guilty of it, lads. I've done this. I remember during COVID, I went for a swim and I spoke about it for about a week and a half. It's so embarrassing. I remember posting stories one day after I went for a swim and it was like drinking wine, like as a celebration, be like, to celebrate me going for a swim this morning. And I was actually expecting people to be like, messing me going, well done, mate. Fair play to you. As if I'd done a fucking 10k. Speaking of which, is it possible to do a 10k without then posting about it on Instagram? I break that rule every time. There's a lot of marathons. Maybe it's because I'm in my 30s. There's a lot of people doing half marathons these days. And don't get me wrong, I will be first. Once I get this knee issue sorted out, I will be first to post if I do. But yeah, posting the wine to celebrate going for a swim. Jesus. I was actually, and you know what? I was drinking, and I still remember this day, I was drinking Blossom Hill wine, rosé, which was just disgrace. It was the really red blush. Blossom Hill, for those of you unfamiliar, Blossom Hill is the sort of wine, it's rosé for sunburnt racists in British beer gardens who like to reminisce about the good old days when remarkably they were in beer gardens drinking rosé, who were still talking about the good old days. You know, people who say things like, I must admit I've always liked the Irish, as if it's something to be ashamed about. Do you know what I mean? Mark, I must admit, mate, I've always liked the Irish. As if it's something you need to be embarrassed about, like your history, for instance, or Brexit, or the way your media, fans and the greater British public treated Wayne Rooney during the World Cup of 2010. Blossom Hill is the type of wine drank by people who think it's appropriate to shout out the windows of buses, you know? It's for people who piss in public and take pictures with members of the Gardaí. Blossom Hill is sweet nectar, okay, for pink Stetson wearing 33-year-olds in leather tights and satin blouses en route to an outdoor gig in the summer where their ears will be scorched by the sounds of something nauseatingly bland and British like Jaws, Ezra or Passenger. Oh, I miss the sun when it starts to snow. Blossom Hill is wine for people who would opt for the Wax Museum over the Guggenheim. Brilliant. That's definitely the most middle class and pretentious gag I've ever made in the show, since I did a whole episode on ski trips. Let's go.
Cheers, Mark. Love your book, by the way.
Thank you.
The red eye. I caught the red eye. And you're looking at them going, Jesus, they look great for getting off a red eye flight. I wonder where they came from. And you're like, oh, where'd you come from? Oh, Dublin. Will you ever fuck off and give yourself a shake. That's, no. A spitting distance on a flight does not a red eye make. And the second classic, are you at the house? Are you at the house? Please, like, how do you know an Irish person's in Soho House? Like, they'll tell you. Like, they will literally tell you within seconds of meeting them. And listen, pals, we all know they're letting all and sundry into it now, so it's no longer a status symbol. Very annoying. Are you at the house? Please, like, please stop calling it that. Very funny.
Okay, as somebody who is bloody with the house, I have to I accept full responsibility for this because that was me. And if you want to hear some of the stories of my activities and actions in Soho House back in the day, you can buy my book. The link is in the bio. Now, the red eye. Yeah, couldn't agree more. People putting up stuff. Do you remember back in the day, people would be putting up stuff on Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook being like, oh, I'm addicted to travel. You took a Ryanair flight to Glasgow for the weekend. You're not exactly Ferdinand Magellan. Do you know what I mean? You've literally, just back in the red eye. You got the 5:45 flight from Dublin Airport Terminal 1 to Manchester for the day. You're not really Amelia Earhart, you know? Just naming explorers now. She wasn't really an explorer. She's probably still alive, by the way. Consider that. Let's go.
It's the rural flex, Mark. When muck savages show off the price they paid for a pint of plain and a packet of crisps in the exotic mecca that is Wetherspoons on Abbey Street.
Okay, I mean, we obviously give points for the alliteration. You can't be just calling people from rural Ireland muck savages. Do you know what I mean? It's this sort of like mentality which I think drives people up the wall about Dubliners. Like, you can't, anyone that's beyond the pale, oh yeah, they're just a spud gobbling muck savage. You know what I mean? You can't. It's just not fair. But also, I've never been to a Wetherspoons. That's a complete lie. I went to one on a push through in Blackrock in 2021 and it was one of the most depressing mornings I've ever been to. I mean, I talk about this in the book, but I genuinely still have PTSD from like, if you ever done a push through and you've been through, you know, you've gone through the whole night, you're going into the next day, and then eventually it's like 11 a.m. and someone's like, here, we should call it. And then you have to get into the taxi and you're just like, oh God. And life is descending on you all at once and you're driving home and the birds are chirping and people are out wearing leggings and yoga pants and fucking gym gear and they've got newspapers under their arms and dogs on the end of leads and you're sitting there separated by the glass of the taxi thinking, where did it all go wrong? I think I hate this little life. We can't really finish on that. Yes, we can. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Weekly Roast. Sorry for the depressive ending, but that's the game, okay? I really appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much for the kind messages every week. I love hearing about where you listen to the podcast, what parts of it you like, what you'd like included. It makes me feel connected to you. So thank you so much. And please share the podcast with your friends. I hugely appreciate the support. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the flesh before the year is out. It's been, what time is it? When did I last do my live shows? I did a series of live shows Christmas 23. Oh no, I did March 23. I think it's time to dust off the old boots and get back on stage. We've also got a plan. Me and Kieran are rubbing our little mitts together and we're thinking of taking the roast on the road and coming around various places in Ireland. So if you're a fan of the roast, let me know where you're listening to it in Ireland, as that will be factored into our plans. Lots of exciting things afoot. Guys, thank you so much for the support. I owe everything to you. This show would be nothing without the listeners, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a great day. Have a great week. And look, you're not alone if you're suffering. All the best. Bye-bye.